from the heart of Africa to the center of the world. This is not just the story of an artist. It is the story of a voice that carries history, resistance, pride, and rhythm. This is the story of Burna Boy. Burna Boy was born Dlamini Ebunoloa Ogulu on July 2, 1991, in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, a city shaped by oil, struggle, and sound. Music was not an accident in his life. It was inheritance. His grandfather, Benson Idonije, was one of Nigeria's most respected music critics, and the first manager of Afrobeat legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti. Through this lineage, Dlamini was introduced early to the idea that music was more than entertainment. It was truth. It was protest. It was power. Growing up in Port Harcourt, Burna Boy absorbed everything: traditional African rhythms, reggae, dancehall, hip-hop, and the raw energy of the streets. Even as a child, he was already writing, already listening, already questioning the world around him. After secondary school at Corona, secondary school in Ogun State, Dlamini left Nigeria for London, a move that would reshape his sound forever. At the University of Sussex, where he studied media technology, Burna Boy was exposed to a global collision of cultures: British rap, Caribbean rhythms, African diaspora energy. London did not erase his roots, it sharpened them. Here his sound began to form. Not Afrobeat, not hip-hop, not reggae, but something new. Something African, yet global. In 2012, Nigeria heard his voice clearly for the first time. Like to Party. The song was a hit. Raw, confident, unapologetic. It announced the arrival of a new force. In 2013, Burna Boy released his debut album, Life, leaving an impact for eternity. The title was not accidental. It was a declaration. The album fused Afrobeat, dancehall, reggae, and hip-hop, a sound that refused to be boxed. Nigeria had found a new voice, one that didn't ask for permission. In 2015, Burna Boy released On a Spaceship, a metaphor for his mindset. He was moving differently, thinking differently. But true transformation came in 2018. When Outside dropped, the world changed. And then came Yay, a song that wasn't just music, it was a movement. Yay crossed borders, languages, and cultures. It spoke to frustration, hope, and African resilience. Burna Boy was no longer just Nigerian, he was continental, he was global. In 2019, Burna Boy named himself what the world was beginning to recognize: African Giant. The album was bold, political, and deeply African. It addressed colonial wounds, identity, and self-worth. For the first time, global audiences weren't just dancing to African music, they were listening. The album earned Burna Boy his first Grammy nomination, a historic moment for Nigerian music. But he was just getting started. In 2020, with executive production by Diddy, Burna Boy released Twice as Tall. This was not an album about success, it was about survival, about standing taller despite oppression, stereotypes, and history. In 2021, history was made. Burna Boy won the Grammy Award for Best Global Music Album, not just for himself, but for Africa. Burna Boy has never separated music from responsibility. He speaks openly about corruption, governance, and African unity. His lyrics challenge power. His voice amplifies the unheard. This is why his music matters. Beyond fame, he invests in youth, education, and empowerment, believing that Africa's future lies in its people. In 2022, Burna Boy released Love, Dlamini, his most personal project yet. Here, the giant steps back, and the man speaks: love, vulnerability, identity, growth. It was a reminder. Behind the global icon is a human being shaped by struggle and purpose. From Port Harcourt to the world, Burna Boy has done more than make music. He has rewritten narratives, redefined African sound, and proven that African artists do not need validation, they set the standard. His legacy is not just in awards or charts, but in pride, influence, and cultural awakening. Burna Boy is not just the sound of Africa, he is the echo of its past and the pulse of its future.